This is a behavioral deep dive. We take one product, website, or service and evaluate it from the perspective of behavioral economics. In this video, we're going to take a look at dollar a day and discuss the general business direction. There are many things that the product is doing well, and there are opportunities to amplify its impact with a few key changes. Let's start with dollar a day's overall model. Through dollar a day, you donate $1 each day through the charity that they're featuring that day. Each day, you get an email with some quick details on the charity of the day. So what makes the overall business strong from a behavioral economic standpoint? First, low friction. The idea of donating $1 a day to charity seems like a small, doable amount. But can you imagine if you actually had to do so every single day? Even if you were well-intentioned and wanted to do so, would you actually remember every day? Probably not. Dollar a day takes the idea of this small commitment and makes it streamlined by automatically charging people monthly. Second, it reduces something behavioral economists call the pain of paying. We don't like parting with our money, and each time we do so causes us pain. In this case, though, the decision happens only once. After that, since your card is automatically charged, you don't actually have to decide to spend money each day. Users get the benefit of being a donor, feeling charitable and generous, by receiving the email daily, without having to experience the pain of paying each time. Last, dollar a day has built into the experience a strong emotional component. Each day, they send users one email that includes the details of the charity. Research has shown that we are more motivated to give to a specific person rather than a general cause or statistic. So the more concrete this is, the better. This is the identifiable victim effect. Now, let's talk about some components of the business model that could be improved using behavioral insights. Asking for $1 is a small commitment. It's just $1 after all. How could this fact be used to increase donations? Research has shown that when people agree to a small commitment, they are more likely to subsequently agree to larger ones. After people have agreed to $1 a day, asking to donate $2 or perhaps a one-time Christmas donation of $50 may not be as big of an ask. Next, another idea is to give users a sense of contribution in the charity selection process. Research from Mike Norton and Dan Ariely has shown that we overvalue things that we put effort into. Think of the last time you built something from IKEA. IKEA furniture, by definition, is inexpensive. But when you put hours of sweat into putting what seems like hundreds of pieces together, that bookshelf is no longer a generic $35 bookshelf, but something that you toiled over, something that you are now more attached to. In the same vein, getting users to have input into the selection process may increase their buy-in or sense of ownership to the product. Dollar a day could ask people to vote on specific charities, or allocate money across different types of charities such as health, education, environment. Lastly, let's talk about ways that donors can share their donations. They can do so now through Facebook and Twitter, but we recommend increasing the prominence of this. There are two reasons for doing so. One has to do with social proof, and the other has to do with rewards. What's social proof? It's basically the idea that we have more herd-like behavior than we'd like to believe. We follow the behavior of others. If we're told that our neighbors use less electricity than we do, we reduce our usage. If we're told that other people who stayed in our hotel room previously hung their towels and reused them, we're more likely to as well. So in dollar a day's case, getting more people to share the fact that they've become donors could have a follow the leader effect and create a general acquisition lift. The other thing that increasing sharing does is that it provides what's called social rewards to the donor. Often when we think of rewards, we think of things like money or points or perks. In many cases, social rewards are more powerful. Think about if you post a photo on Facebook. Each like you get is a sort of social reward. In that same vein, making it very easy for users to share the fact that they donated provides them the social reward of having people see them as generous, giving people. So that's it in a nutshell. On the upside, Dollar a Day's business model is great because it reduces the pain of paying, increases happiness, and gives a sense of concreteness through the identifiable victim effect. To amplify the impact even more, there's the opportunity to ask for more, to make users more involved in the process, and make sharing easier.